Elijah Wood's been doing a lot of interesting work in recent years. Yesterday I watched Grand Piano, which, despite being really, really dumb, I quite enjoyed. He's in a movie called Cooties, something like that, that's playing the festival circuit right now, which sounds pretty interesting. I'd like to check that out at some point. A couple of years ago, he did a remake of Maniac, a film from, 1980 or somewhere around there. I've seen it, I like it, and I'm interested to see what they do with the remake. I hear it's all in first person, which, it's found footage, kind of gives you pause. You're like, oh, is that going to work? But it could work, we'll see. The original Maniac, one of the things that sticks out to me the most is, while a lot of the critics of the day would have just called, it's trash, it's just some slasher about a guy who goes and knifes and shotguns people, which isn't incorrect, but I would categorize the movie as a character study more than a slasher movie. Although it certainly has all the elements of a slasher movie. But the movie does seem more focused on who Joe Spinell, the actor who plays the character Frank or something. The movie's focused on this person and what makes him tick and who he is. And in fact, interesting thing, Joe Spinell, if you've seen movies from the late 70s, early 80s, you've seen him. He's in Rocky, he's in Godfather, so you'd recognize him if you saw him. He's a large man, he died a long time ago, but he was a large man, not conventionally attractive, and he gets into a relationship with a woman in the movie, and with a woman who is conventionally attractive by Hollywood standards, and the relationship is so cute. I mean, Joe Spinell, he can be both incredibly intimidating and threatening, but he can also turn on the charm. You watch these two people having dinner together, and it's like, I know he just, shot someone in the face with a shotgun and then scalped another woman and nailed her hair onto a mannequin, but I see what she sees in him, and you end up rooting for the maniac and his girlfriend. You start rooting for these two to make it. And the real horror of the film, what really scares you as a viewer, is that he's not going to be able to hang on to his humanity, and he's just going to kill her. And you're like, no, don't kill her. You're such a cute couple. You can do it, Joe, or Frank, or whatever your name is. So it'll be interesting. Now, Elijah Wood, as my sister would tell you, is definitely a conventionally attractive person by Hollywood standards. So it'll be interesting to see how, if they do it like that, or if they do it completely, being in first person, he's either going to be standing near a mirror or some reflective surface in every single scene. That's going to be really ridiculous. Or they're probably going to do something else. So I'm really interested to see how this movie is. So I'll tell you all about it. Hang on. It's okay. I might bump it up a bit from okay into yeah. Try writing that out phonetically. Yeah. This movie doesn't really work for me. I wonder how I would feel if I had never seen the original Maniac. But I have, so I like the original better. Although I haven't seen the original in a long time, so I like my memory of the original better than the remake. Still, this has a lot of things going for it. The first-person perspective is interesting, and from a technical perspective, really interesting in the way it's pulled off in a lot of instances. I joked at the beginning of this video that he be near a lot of mirrors and reflective surfaces, and yeah, that does happen quite a bit. Although it's never too overdone. Maybe the ceiling mirror in one girl's apartment, that seems a bit much, but eh. A lot of the first-person shots don't really work. It looks like the camera is right next to him rather than straight out of his eyes. They did something really interesting towards the beginning of the movie. Frank, the Elijah Wood's character, goes on a date, and he's looking at his date, and he looks out at the restaurant, and everyone's eating dinner, and he looks at his date, and then he's like, and he looks out, and everyone in the restaurant is just silent, stopped, and staring. And it's clear that everything's fine. It's all normal at the Pizza Hut or wherever the hell they are. It's classier than Pizza Hut. But this is what he sees. So the first-person view really tries to put you in his head and see what he sees. Unfortunately, that's the most interesting thing they do with it, and one of the only things they do with it. The rest of it is first person because. Although there are a couple things where the camera pulls out of his head for no discernible reason, or maybe I'd think of a good reason if I thought about it longer than immediately talking about it right after the credits are finished rolling. There are two rather clunky references, homages, acknowledgments, whatever you want to call them, of the original, what was this movie called? Maniac. One I didn't care for. The second one is really on the nose and kind of out of place, especially if you don't know what it's referencing, but it's really cool. Yeah, Elijah Wood's, I think it's one Wood. Yes, James Woods, Elijah Wood, mimics the original theatrical poster of Maniac, which, I was like, doesn't really fit the movie, kind of if you didn't know what it was referencing, you'd be like, what are they doing? But I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Some really great gore gags. There's a mixture of practical and CG, but the CG really seems to be used only when it needs to be. And most of the gore gags are as practical as they can be, and then refined and supplemented with CG, which is the way it should be. It works really well, and a lot of the gags are really, really fun. I'll spoil the opening one. In spoiling it, let me explain something that I didn't feel quite worked about the movie. Elijah Wood's, plural, Elijah Woods' character Frank is Jason Voorhees. Just cuter and cuddlier. I mean, he grows a worse beard than I do, but he's still cute and cuddly. What I mean by Jason Voorhees is he has teleportation powers. The movie's not shot in real time, so it skips around a little bit, but you follow him stalking a woman, and he somehow is constantly getting ahead of her, just like Jason Voorhees. He also seems to have Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility, because, man, he gets right up on these women and doing the creepy, heavy breathing, and these women are... It's like... He's like right here. It's like, he's right there! Come on! It's like they have horse blinders on. So, you don't notice him until he wants to be noticed. The first woman that he stalks in this, I think it is the first woman. Second? First. that he stalks and kills in this movie. He follows into an apartment complex. It's established that he knows where she lives. He does track these women, so that's not a plot hole, come to think of it. He's waiting for this woman on her floor, and he's standing in the middle of the hallway, and somehow she just never turns to look in his direction, or maybe he's just really good at looking inconspicuous. But, so she just kind of walks past him to her door, and he walks up behind her with the heavy breathing thing, and so she's finally hears it, and she turns around, essentially facing the camera, and he says, "Don't scream, you're so beautiful." And she goes, "Ah!" And he grabs her by the side of the head and jams a knife right up under her jaw, and since her mouth is open to scream, you see the knife going, inside her mouth up into the top of her head. And this is all done in one cut. A lot of CG enhancement here, but it's still really well integrated and well done. I'm not sure how you would practically do that gag completely practically without doing multiple cuts. So the way they wanted to shoot it, they weren't flippant with their CG use, or flagrant with their CG use. It was used when necessary, so the gag really worked for me. So anyway, he jams this knife up under her chin, and you can see like the color and life drain from her face, and he's got her by the hair, and he slices her right across the scalp, and he's kind of holding her up by the hair, and the weight of her body just falls, and he's left holding her scalp. Which is both awesome and ridiculous. Scalps do not... you can't just make an incision right here and then just... The weight of a woman who weighs maybe 130 pounds, I don't know how tall she is, maybe 140 at best, is not going to rip the entire scalp off just with that incision. I would assume. I don't know for sure. I've never scalped anybody, so I wouldn't know. Maybe that's completely realistic. Let's move on. It looks cool. Another thing that, and I'm moving into spoiler territory, so it's interesting. It's got great gore gags. If you like slasher movies and you like people acting creepy and you like Elijah Wood, it's worth a look. There's a lot of the gore and the gags are really good. If you're a fan of Elijah Wood, he's in the movie. The camera work is really interesting. From a technical perspective, it's interesting to watch how they accomplish all the shots. If that's interesting to you, watch the movie. You'll find enough to enjoy. Spoiler time. He's chasing Final Girl down. And the other Jason Voorhees-like quality he has is, boy, this guy takes a beating. He gets stabbed multiple times, impaled, not all the way, not completely run through, but, stabbed in the chest by about a 3-inch spike. And so he's limping along after the final girl, and she flags down a car and, grabs the driver's wheel and ends up running over Elijah Wood. And Elijah Wood, and this is first-person view, goes flying, so the camera goes, ass over tea kettle, and ends up upside down. Like Elijah Wood's kind of laying in the street looking upside down, and you see the car hit a concrete pole or divider or something, and you see her go flying out the window and hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. Oh, I rewound that one. That was that was a good one. It's worth if nothing else, if you have Netflix, fast forward to nearly the end of the movie and watch that, because that is really funny. But he still picks himself up, dusts himself off, and wanders over to where she's laying, and manages to get all the way back to his apartment and dress up a mannequin and do some other stuff before he bleeds to death. Wow, this guy's got stamina. Now, one thing I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I liked about the original Maniac is the Frank, the Maniac, and Anna, the final girl, had chemistry, had a rapport. You could... This guy was kind of weird and different and creepy and not conventionally attractive, but he was interesting and charming. You actually bought the relationship. Elijah Wood and Anna, whatever her name is in this movie, not buying it. And maybe it's just because it's in first-person view and you can't see Frank's face. He delivers everything in a dull monotone. Hi, Anna. I came over to see you. You look wonderful tonight. Yeah, kind of creepy, right? Yeah. Frank in the original movie, when he was around Anna, for the most part, he does slip here and there, but acts like a normal, charming dude. And so you could see how he could get close to people. Elijah Wood's character in this, nope. The guy is just 24/7 creepy. Didn't buy it at all. And that, I think, is the major reason that the film doesn't work as well for me as the original did. But as I said, there are some really great and really fun gore gags in this film. So if that in and of itself is enough for you, there you go. So, I hope you enjoyed day, what are we on, 9, I think, of 30 Days of Netflix. See you tomorrow.